and it let out this blood-curdling, guttural scream.
On the side of the road, he sees a deer carcass and something eating on it, which he thought was a bear. And as the lights hit it, it stood up. And, like, this gives me chills talking about it. He said it stood up and it had the face of a man.
Hello and welcome to Friday Night Bigfoot Live, coming at you right here at the Bigfoots of America podcast show. I'm your host, Bryan Sawyer, coming at you. Now, technically, this is episode 51. What we've been trying to do is kind of combine our recorded shows with our live shows, but we've been having some tech issues with the live shows. So we're going to go ahead, start combining them tonight. If we have any tech issues, like I can't hear our guests, we'll just try to fumble through it tonight, hopefully not end it early. But with that said, let's catch up on some things. If you haven't seen it, this is a recent sighting, and I want to get it out there really quick. I've got an eyewitness, actually a good friend of mine, out there in Muskegon County, Michigan. That's on the western side of the state. We have a 2026 Dogman sighting. I posted it everywhere as Dogman Prophecies number 5. The eyewitness, Muskegon County, so it's right there off of Lake Michigan. The eyewitness had come out of their camper, okay? This is an eyewitness who has had multiple sightings and encounters with Sasquatch, okay? To the point, going way back up to the Upper Peninsula, the Porcupine Mountains area. Actually, this eyewitness had formed a relationship with a clan of Sasquatch up there. And then even when this person would move anywhere, this eyewitness seemed to be marked or tagged, so to speak. And we've talked about that before being on the show, how you get marked or tagged by these Sasquatch. And it seems like every Sasquatch everywhere, whether it's an interdimensional aspect or not, I think it is. Every Sasquatch everywhere knows that you're good to go. Well, this eyewitness moved to Muskegon County and had their first Dogman sighting. Coming out of the camper, they see a Dogman moving, 7 to 9 foot Dogman. I believe it was black in color, was moving from right to left. And here's the interesting part, folks. It went behind or entered into a tree. And when the eyewitness kind of maneuvered around to kind of see behind the tree, it was gone. Now, I'm sure it's been talked about other places. Maybe I'm just catching up. We've all talked about portals before, but the aspect I want to point out this time is how these things use trees, whether to block or obscure the entrance of the portal, or they can use a tree as an actual opening to a portal, a doorway. We don't exactly know yet, but this eyewitness saw this Dogman walk from right to left and then disappear either into or behind a tree. So check that out. That's Dogman Prophecies number 5 in our new Dogman Prophecies series. And then hopefully, man, we're going to have this guy on the show hopefully soon. I'm talking to him right now. We're trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do it. But G.P. Haggart, he's actually a priest and does some exorcisms. And this is one of the books he's written called The Michigan Dogman. And some of the material I have about Dogman come out of this. Some of the material, of course, my good friend George Lunsford comes out of his book, Monsters of the World. He's got 2 other books and a 3rd book coming out as well. Some of the other information comes from the David Walker book, Supernatural Cryptids, Return of the Nephilim. All right. Just wanted to catch everybody up on that. Hey, man, we're going to have a fantastic show tonight. Let's go ahead and bring our guest in, my co-host, Cheri Radu. Let's bring her in first.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
Cheri.
Hi, boom, boom. How's it going?
What's going on? What's new with you?
Hey, just living the dream over here in TC. You know how that is. The snow's melting.
Yes, finally. I mean, I've got the heater on in the studio right now, but yeah, this whole next week we're going to be up into the 40s and close to 50s for a good
Yeah,
duration. Hopefully, get rid of some of this ice and snow here in
yeah.
Michigan. It's been miserable. All right, Terry, Cheri, we were just talking about something before in the green room. Talking about Traverse City Town Hall meeting. We may have a location. We just got to work on the date. We're going to go ahead and throw out this information. What is the venue you were talking about in Traverse City?
The hotel. It's a hotel, but it's the Del Mar. It's on the West Bay. So it overlooks the bay there, and it used to be the old Holiday Inn, but they had renovated the whole entire building and opened up this beautiful place. And so it sits right on the bay. It overlooks the patios overlook the bay on the edge. It's beautiful. It's got a beautiful restaurant inside. So the venue will be nice because it's all contained, and they got
Okay.
They got big convention rooms there. So we're able to expand out the space in case we get more guests than we expect, like what happened last year.
Right.
We doubled our attendance over what we expected, and we were able to still accommodate. But this will be expandable as well, and then and because it's in this region of the state, I really, I'm telling you this now, Brian. I think we're going to have a lot of people,
A lot of people.
a
This
lot.
is this is its own genre now. You know, me as an
Yeah.
actor, you talk about dramas or comedies or action or adventure, sitcom, whatever.
Mhm.
Now the paranormal, Bigfoot, UFO, cryptid, dogman, all of that is its own genre on TV and in movies. And yeah, it's growing so much. So
Oh,
yeah, I think within the next month or two, I find out my budget in mid-March to the 1st of April, and then
okay.
we'll lock down that
There you
location.
go.
I think we're going to do the Traverse City town hall meeting first, and
Mhm.
then we'll do Monroe. But man, within a month or two, everybody, we're going to have everything locked down. We'll have ticket information,
Yeah.
everything. Okay. All
And we
right.
will
Good
be,
stuff.
and two, Brian, to mention that we are going to be pushing a lot of marketing on this event just because of this region where we're at. Traverse City is it has such an incredible history, but it's got a lot of paranormal activity here with the, hospital activities here. We have the hospital that does their own tours and such as well. A lot of paranormal activity here. We have the actual dogman activities that happen in this area as well, in town in Traverse City, as well as the Bigfoot areas. So we're surrounded. We're like a pocket here, but we're surrounded by all this natural resources that they dwell in. So it's perfect spot for this, I think. And I'll tell you, I think it's going to draw a lot of people.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Mhm.
And what's so important about this venue is yes, we're going to have our speakers, but for me, the town hall meetings are about letting the audience come
Yes.
up to the podium and give their own eyewitness accounts. My platform, I want it to be user friendly. I'm not here to discourage anybody from what they want to say. We're here to get the info and spread the data. I'm not, I made a post the other day and somebody kind of ripped on it. Well, I believe in half of this, but that's not true. And blah. I'm like, dude, were you even there? No, you
Yeah.
weren't there. You don't even know the situation. You don't even know the details. You're just spouting off as a know-it-all. So with
Mhm.
our town hall meetings, this is about providing an atmosphere where people feel comfortable to tell their stories.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's get
Awesome.
the voices heard, right?
That's right. That's right. All right. With
Mhm.
that said, we're going to go ahead and bring in our guest today, the one and only Scott Brusch from Urban Bigfoot.
Still hear it? Hey guys.
There he is.
I don't know. Brian's kind of got that ET thing going on right now. I don't know.
How you doing, Scott? Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you guys too, man. I'm doing fantastic. I've been so amped for this show all week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, let me chime in real quick. We're gonna try to see all of our comments, getting better at that. I don't see any on YouTube. Okay, Brenda Goodwin is watching. She said,
Hi,
"Oh, this
Brenda.
is
I
very."
look good on TV.
Brenda Goodwin is watching. Dennis Dean says, "Hello, people." Brenda Goodwin says, "I watched Tuesday's NCI podcast. How tall are the clan along the Kalamazoo River? I'm only about 10 miles away from that river." All right, I have all the notes right here. That is the Robert Anderson, a period of 3 to 4 decades of encounters with a full clan out there. They range from 7 to 10 feet tall, Brenda.
Wow.
Okay. Mainly of the dark brown, dark skin, brown eyes, more like the Patterson Gimlin type. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's ranging from 1991 all the way till present. That is the Robert Anderson account of a full Sasquatch clan along the Kalamazoo River. Jackson, this one might be in Jackson County if my notes are correct. Donna Copus says, "Hello, everyone. Good to see all these people watching." All right, Scott Brusch. Oh, yeah, if you can, everybody, watch the NCI show, because a lot of times if I can't get the information out on this show, I'm talking about it with my other team, the North Carolina investigators. And like I had mentioned a sighting here last week about a guy looking out his tent and seeing some Sasquatch. Well, he texted me back, and he also had a later account. Now, this is crazy talk here. So, Scott, you're going to build off of this crazy talk. I'm trying to pull it up right now and read exactly what he said. And now this eyewitness wants to remain anonymous. All right, so and this was just last week. So this was after the show. He said, "Hey, just got done watching your podcast in the same woods at a different time." So we're talking about the Yale, Michigan area. He said him and his buddies were riding their dirt bikes, and they saw 5 beings. They were that tan orange color. 5 beings. Now here's the crazy part. Scott, check this out. 16 to 18 feet tall. Tall orange color, running off the trail. They stopped and looked at the guys riding the dirt bikes, and then they took off. And the guys kind of went after them on the dirt bikes, but they disappeared or were just gone. And this guy ends it with, "I've never done drugs in my whole life."
Not at all. No, so this is Yale, Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too far from me. This all connects to my Bigfoot triangle, Scott, that you and I have talked about so many times.
Dude, so like the only time I've heard of 16 to 18 foot Sasquatch is like in Alaska.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally 2 hours away? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess we're cutting back on the old 3 a.m. investigations.
And when you figure, I've just got another confirmation of another sighting of about a 14-footer.
Yeah.
So, like we were talking about on the NCI show, are they eating these big horse-sized deer that are all chemically induced by all the farms around here? Who knows?
Man.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, it's all you, man. What's going on? What's new? Give us the update. Let us know, man.
Dude, life has never been better, honestly. Me and my soon-to-be wife, we're getting married in June of 2027. We're doing fantastic.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Urban Bigfoot's thriving, and dude, I couldn't be happier. But this find, what I've been so amped up this entire week, it was February 1st when this happened. It was after when it was like negative 25 wind chills for like 2 weeks, where nobody was even wanting to go out to the car. I mean, we went through 2 car batteries during that time.
Oh, man.
I know. And finally, when it's like 15 degrees, I'm like, Jake, let's just get out in the woods, man. Because even though it's cold, the sun is still really pretty out there. It's the field of view, because there's no foliage. It's just like almost like the Arctic or something. It's beautiful. So we're going down the trail. And I'm just looking. I always look to the left and right. That's just how I am. I'm always scanning. And I see this like hoop around this tree branch, like the Y trees, like this two trunks split up. This is probably a 30 or 40 foot tree. I actually sent Cheri the photos and stuff. And I'm looking in there and I'm like, what is this? And I'm thinking, because Monroe and Frenchtown used to be a lot of farmland. So I thought it was just like a bale of barbed wire hanging up there, from like 100 years ago. So I'm like, I got to go in here and check this out. And I walk in there, and this is probably at least 12 feet off the ground. And this is a vine wreath that is literally woven together. And something literally had to have soaked this, I'm guessing, to even get it in shape to be able to do this. So this was evidently planned out for quite some time, and it's probably 2 or 3 feet in diameter, and I have it literally 5 feet away. So I'm just eager to get this on camera, man. When I saw it, I was almost like just in awe, because I'm thinking it's February 1st. I mean, who's out here doing crafts in 5 degrees? You know what I'm saying? On February 1st. I hate to say it, but as a researcher, we got to find out when it's not first.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I go in there, and Jake's got it filmed. Jake has the initial reaction video filmed. I'm like, dude, I want you to film this as I'm going in for the first time to find out what this is. And I literally jump like 3 feet off the ground, like just Yahoo. You know what I mean? This is a find of a lifetime. And we've studied that site extensively for probably 4 years now. I've tried gifting, and you guys have seen most of the footage that I've caught on trail cam that I can't explain.
Is this the same area I was at?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
3 clans back there.
Yeah, season 2, episode 6 or 5 or something like that.
7.
7.
Yep, dude. And the fact of the thing, I mean, see, I'm still stumbling because this thing is fantastic. Here it is.
Show it. Show it.
Here is a close up.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Look at this
and
thing,
I did
Bryan.
see the picture. Yes, it's a handmade wreath.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you see this piece right here, you can see where I honestly believe this was like chewed off or snapped. So they literally chose like a certain length to make this out of. I mean, you can see where it's interconnected. Like this was no easy feat. I mean,
wait a minute, is this all one piece?
Yes.
It's made of
one solid piece, man. This part right here is what got me. Like this is where like you would cut it off at, but it almost is like a pointer too, like almost like they finished it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this was literally about 12 feet off the ground. And another anomaly. What this was hanging on was a tree branch that was deliberately shoved between these 2 trees, like a makeshift hook that this was placed up on.
That's amazing.
What do you think? All right, so let's dig into it. All right, we know it's like, all right, so it's like when you walk along a beach, and you're just kind of going along, you're looking for rocks, Cheri, whatever, and then let's say
anybody else coming on.
You find a sandcastle. That's evidence that somebody made that sandcastle. Something intelligent made that sandcastle. So with this, we know that something intelligent made this wreath. Scott, what do you think the wreath is for, about? I've got my ideas already, but I want to hear from you.
You know what? Honestly, 1 second. My lovely girlfriend is going to go put it back on the wall for me because, surprise, surprise, the cats like to try to chew on it and play with it. And so I kind of like to keep it up out of the way. You know what I mean?
But get this, before you answer that question, Scott. Bryan, that wreath was green branched when he got it.
Oh, my
It was reset plant. Right? Right, Scott?
Yeah. And you know those trees where it's like, it's literally the vines kind of grow off? And Bryan, you saw when you were out there filming season 2, episode 7, the vines kind of hanging down.
Yeah.
That's what it's made out of. That's precisely what this is made out of.
Yeah, because we're like, man, this is a youth Bigfoot, adolescent Bigfoot paradise playground.
And it was only like 5 or 6 trees out there actually had the vinery on them. So it's a intelligently selected area to get that from. But how do they have it green in the wintertime? They're forest people, man. They got the power they're kind of like swamp things. They got the power to bring it back to life.
Exactly.
And obviously
Ah.
they soaked it because for a human to make that, sure, it's not impossible. But you would have to know the proper torque and pressure without snapping it, especially on a cold winter day.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. Real quick, Tracy Lynn says, hello, everyone. Brenda Goodwin says, Expedition Bigfoot also found some similar wreaths.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that's, yeah.
Oh my
What do you,
gosh.
what do you think they are, Scott? What's it all about?
Honestly, I'm super excited to have Cheri on the show because my initial thoughts, even before her and I talked, were okay. This is a Native American thing for sure. This is something from that aspect. Like either they learned it from the Native Americans or the Native Americans taught them. I mean, either way, they grew up side to side.
Yes.
And I'm just like, what could this mean? At first, I'm just thinking it's just a wonderful gift from all the times I've gifted. We leave marbles out there, Jake and I do. We'll leave out blues, greens, the solid colors are like gumballs.
Mm-hmm.
They only take the blue ones. Or, they only take the green ones, and they leave the others.
That's some.
So
every time we go out there, there'll be 4 marbles. We'll come back the next day, one's gone. And it's always the green one.
Okay.
They're pattern seers, though, right, guys? That we learned that. So they will always go to the pattern. So that's what's fascinating.
When I was out with Greg Smith, that was kind of my really big eye opener about how they leave subtle clues for each other.
Yeah.
Other members of the clan, or say a member is, maybe a day or two behind. They leave something to show that clan member which direction they went. Like you said, it could be a pointer. Or do you think it was a clan member leaving it for another clan member, or were they gifting you back because of all the gifting you've done? And it's a acknowledgement that they know they're there, and so it's kind of a peace offering.
I honestly think that it was meant for me because I swear to you, the way it was hanging, the sun was literally golden on that tree. And it was probably 100 feet off the trail. It was left facing a known travel corridor that Jake and I travel almost daily. So they knew I was going to pass by there. They knew I was going to look in that section of woods like I always do. So I think that was like you want to know some stuff? Figure this out. Well, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Wow. So
my thing is, would an elder Bigfoot have make this? Because I don't see a juvenile having that kind of skill level yet.
Okay. Could be an acknowledgement.
Well,
so I honestly don't know, and I'm hoping Cheri can really shed some light on this.
Okay, Cheri, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the first time when Scott, thank you so much for sharing this piece with me. That
you were
was
the first one I thought to send it to.
Thank you so much, Scott. It meant a lot to me too, and I really appreciated it. I'm so excited about it. I'm tickled about it. It's so amazing to me. The first thing that had come to mind, Bryan, in our Lakota Sioux beliefs, we have a tree that's called the Tree of Life. And everybody hears about the Tree of Life and they have their own interpretations of it, and that's perfectly fine. But in our beliefs, in our world, we have a Tree of Life, and it's a real thing. And it's interesting about these, about the Tree of Life is that it grows in a hoop. It grows naturally in a hoop. And when you see this and it's revealed, when Scott brought that to my attention, I saw the photograph of it, and then I saw the video, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was like the first thing that had come to mind was this is like a message to Scott that, there's a tree, there's a life source here that is being validated, and our life source is different, but it might be the same. We all have the same cycle of life. We all live in a circle, and life is continuing. So how old are we, or how old, and it can go beyond all that. I mean, it makes you think about, if we think about the Tree of Life, what is all a part of it? What is a part of all of the tree of life? Every living being. So
now, what does
why
that
not
mean
be
for
included?
me to receive it?
And to be receiving a gift of that symbolism was very moving to me. I mean, it moved me, Scott, to the point where it was like, oh my gosh, this is a whole another level of understanding of their, not just of their physical capabilities of, like we were talking about, using their hands and the techniques. I mean, to weave is not an easy thing to do. But to weave it in a hoop that could be a representation of the tree of life in the Native American worlds, let's say, or just beliefs or cultures or whatever, just as another example of symbolism of that they have a respect for life. And this is something that they use as well as a symbol of how they evolve and continue to evolve. I don't know what happened to Brian there. He just went off air, but
He'll be back.
he'll be back, but it's between you and me now. So anyway,
Exactly.
the one question I had for you, Scott, I was thinking about it, was when you had to go get the wreath to read it out of the tree, did you notice any kind of other signs, or did you have a sense of any kind of entities or cloaking or anything of that sort around you at the time?
It was so peaceful, and there weren't even so much as deer prints around the tree. There wasn't any ruffles or bundles or messes or anything. It was just like in the movies, or like in the cartoons when they would find the treasure and the sun or something would be glowing down on it, showing where it is. That is almost what it looked like hanging on that tree, because it was 11 o'clock in the morning or so. So the sun was just up, it was just beautiful. And I'm like, there's something here, and it was meant for me to see.
Yeah. Did you think that before you found it on the tree? That you were going to find something?
I look at it, that day was just supposed to be kind of like a recon thing. You know what I mean? Like, let's check it out. Let's see how active they are in the wintertime. It was just kind of he and I are blessed to have our area like 3 miles down the road. So we can still go do this stuff in the winter. Not everybody has that. Some people have to travel a ways to get to where they do their thing, So it was just supposed to be a walk, and it turned into a really spiritual day. Yeah, and I saw that, and I was just so excited. I'm like, I know that is the highest sign of like a cognitive, like motor skills with your fingers function that you can have. And I also know that wreath giving in the Sasquatch world is like the ultimate gift. Like, am I supposed to unlock some sort of power or something that has to like learn why they gave it to me? Because I know that doesn't go to just anybody. I'm not gloating, but for whatever reason, I was meant to have this.
I agree. And, it was definitely, I agree with you on that it was meant for you to find. And the beauty of it all is that we're always trying to figure out what it means, the symbolism of it all. And we can only go off of what our heritage or cultures have taught us in the past, right? But, you're the one. And I've only seen your work to find and photograph a portal with a being coming out of it.
I still think about that all the time, and that was like 2 years ago now.
I know.
I talked to my mom about that, and my mom was like, you probably weren't supposed to see that, but for some reason you were meant to, like, whatever purpose. Like, maybe this portal represents, or the wreath represents some sort of portal somehow. Like,
correct.
That's what that. Okay.
Correct. And did you ever? I don't remember what they call them, but you've heard of viewing balls, right? Where you can cast into a crystal ball. They call them viewing balls, whatever.
Scrying, like that sort of thing.
I don't know about that, but it's some people have the ability of vision, and they'll use something like that can give off an energy. And of course, anything in a circle is an energy, or shaped in a circle is an energy port, and they could be using that as a way to portal convey conversations, to be able to convey or imagery out. Remote viewing. We've talked about that. They have the capability of remote viewing. Matthew Sexton, we were talking about that. It could be a tool, and you haven't you haven't learned yet, and you haven't acquired the knowledge yet to know how to use it. And it's something I think of the future for you to, learn from. And the more and more you're gonna share this with the community now. This is the actual reveal tonight, showing
Yes, it
everybody here
is.
today in this show that look at this piece. And everybody's gonna say that. Like Brenda just shared that they're in the other podcast groups, that they have been gifted these similar type of gifts. What does it mean? Now what's the correlation? What's the patterning? What does it mean? Who got them? Who received these things and why? So I think there's a lot more to be discovered about this, and I think it's a very important find and gift.
I picture this sort of like, I pick it up one day and like I'm in some sort of different, place and time,
we talked about that.
Some sort of, like object that has the capacity to time travel, essentially.
Potentially, or reveal or see. It could be that as well as a shield. Now, circular things also represent shields, something to guard against, something to stay, to protect you from, right? It could be anything related to that. I mean, think about our history and our cultures, and when we went to war, or when we were, practicing mystical things and whatever. It always was around something round. It was always something. When we were battling, we were using shields. When we were protection, right? It was shielding. When we needed something, we asked the mirror on the wall, mirror, mirror, hey, what's the deal? What is this? And they say never point a mirror to a mirror. Never face two mirrors together, because it opens portals. So remember these things. These are things that we share and learn, but we don't put two and two together. So
wow.
Yeah.
This was like 2 weeks ago, and I'm just still, what? You know what I mean? It's just such an honor to receive something like that, because it's like where I have it like on display. I did the sage thing that you told me to do and all that stuff too. And I did my own, like Christian side of things too. And it's just this beautiful piece now. Like right when you walk into our place, it's right there on the wall. Like, it just looks really cool. And it's still, this is crazy, but it's still green.
Isn't that something? So it has life in it. That's why I keep saying the tree of life, it's still living. It's a living thing. That's what's so fascinating about it to me. And the thing is, I didn't realize till you showed it now how big the thing was.
It's like 2 feet across. I would literally say it's probably 24 by 24 height and width, I would say.
Yeah.
And which would make that about a 15 or 20 foot piece of vine.
Yep. Yeah. And the time it would have taken to make that, thinking that, I'm not a weaver, but thinking, I got to go pick the stick. I got to take the time and sit down and put it together and weave it in a way it's going to stay together.
They thought it out for a while. Like, okay, we've been wanting to do this. We're doing the process. Here's the finished product. Here you go. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it just hit me now. Okay. It's like they're giving me a piece of the tree of life.
Yes. And like, there's a message in them.
Now, if you want to learn more about us, it's going to be with this.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been in search of that for how many years?
Oh, man. I can remember reading my first library book. Oh, they definitely were. This is Bigfootery level 50.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
It's so cool. Yeah. And thank you for explaining that to me, because now that we kind of have an idea of that it's some sort of tool to help me. Like, you want the knowledge, you've earned it, Now I just got to unlock it.
Yeah. But, and I think you're evolving into your knowledge is evolving as it goes, and you're going to pick up and acquire more universal knowledge as you expand out. Right. So, I always say it's like what you know today is what you know today and what you'll know tomorrow it's going to build upon that, and you're going to build on it and build on it and build on it. And it's the people that come onto your path that bring the additional knowledge to fill in the gaps are going to come find you, because now this was put into play. So who's coming to you now? Who's going to find you? Who's going, this is a piece that's going to, it's like that's why they call them conversation pieces.
For sure. I mean, even somebody that doesn't know anything about Sasquatch walking in the house, they're going to be like, what is this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is so cool to me. Like, regardless of what you think or what you believe, it is an anomalous thing. Like, we're knowers. I've always been a believer, but I've researched Bigfoot for probably 30 years. Even before I knew what tree structures were, before I knew what, runes and all that kind of stuff were, and what the hierarchy was and how many types. Like, when I was just like, there's something out here. I was that 6-year-old curious kid in the library, and it was something that called me. Most kids have a passive interest in that sort of thing. For me, it was like, no, I'm supposed to be doing this.
Right.
And ever since, it's just, me and my girlfriend had an anomalous experience in Athens, Ohio in 2023 in July. And that was my first experience with Bigfoot. And even her first experience, like, she's an open-minded skeptic, but she will even admit to you that something that was probably 9 feet tall on 2 feet walked up towards the window when we were sleeping in there that night.
Oh, geez.
Mm-hmm. I had somebody even pull on the front door trying to, how the little camper locks, it's just like a tiny little, like, click. Something pulled on it trying to get in. There's not too many normal animals that you'd have to have a thumb to do that. Like, you'd have to have an opposable thumb, and the nearest human was like a mile away. And when I went over a lot of the recordings and stuff that I did that night, because I always go over the footage later, your camera's going to catch what your naked eye can't. And there were so many on camera. There was a couple of footprints the next day, but the area where it came up to the window, there weren't any footprints. It's like they want to leave footprints when they feel like it. But I think when they're not leaving footprints, they're kind of like traveling in both realms. Yeah. Like, they're enough that they're there for you to hear or see, but they're not there enough to actually leave a physical imprint on the ground.
Yep.
That is, but then again, I'm like, do all Bigfoots have power, or is it only like a select few?
Well, you mentioned something very interesting, and I wanted to comment then, but I'm glad you brought this up. I can only speculate, because I don't know, but in our tribes, we have a shaman, our medicine man, whatever you want to call them. They're like our highest priest. They're respected to be. They're one of the highest standing representative in the tribe. So is the chief. And then you have your top warriors. So we have this hierarchical kind of structure in our cultures, right? And you earn those positions, right? But the priest is the highest of the highest in our culture. And I don't know why. I mean, if the Sasquatch or Bigfoot or Big Man, however you want to refer to them, watchers are fine too. If they're commingling with us, and they hunt with us, and they teach us as well as we teach them, and that back and forth. I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't second guess that they don't have a hierarchical, family culture, in their culture. Or there's some elders in there that are more knowing than others, and have the ability to heal or whatever their gifts are, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if that is the case in their world. I mean, there's always got to be a boss somewhere,
That's true. And I'm thinking, it's 12 feet off the ground. Does that mean that the Sasquatch was probably around 10 feet?
So you think about it, look how long their arms are. They go past the waist. So
that's how I judge the videos. If their hands are past their knees when they're walking and they're coming all the way up, I consider that a genuine video. Yeah. If they have a normal human gait, it's somebody in a suit. Anybody that knows about the mid-tarsal break knows they're going to step like this.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be a direct, flat stomp into the ground.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's like when I found my tracks, no arch. And when you zoom in, a lot of the toes and some of the tracks are splayed. So that indicates something that's never worn shoes before.
Yes.
Like, and then when you zoom in, you got the dermal ridges are in there. Like, there's no faking that something's out there at the end of winter. And yeah, maybe it could be somebody that's human. I'm not ruling that out, but it's not leaning that way. You know, that's the least likely possibility at this point.
Interesting too, when you found it, the sun was shining on that side of the tree. Do you remember what side of that tree was and what direction it was facing? Was it north, south, east, west? Do you remember any of that? Was it?
It would have been northwest, would have been the direction that it was shining on. Further west than north, but yeah, right in that direction, shining right towards the trailer, because that's where the halfway point starts to wind back around.
I'm not surprised you said that.
Okay, I just got chills.
Yeah, I am not surprised. That's why I knew you were going to answer how you were going to answer that. I'm not surprised because in the structures that I've been studying and finding, there is the way they build them. There's always a little bit of a longer stick or log or whatever the structure is made of. There's a little bit longer. And what I'm finding is that they will point that to the north. And depending on what time of the year it is, but the North Star is always constant. It stays in the same place. So there's some kind of point to the north meaning there that I'm finding over and over and over. And it's a pattern. So it's very interesting to me. If you study the pyramids, they also talk about when they set the pyramids up that, they go up the solstices as well, but in the center of the pyramid, they always want to try to, in some of these, they would always notice that up, if you look straight up through the top of it, if it's open, we'll have the North Star visible.
Wow.
So there's something it's celestial. So there's something going on with that celestial pattern. So,
now that you mention it possibly being a portal, now I can't get it out of my head that it would represent a circular doorway to another dimension, whatever that may be, where they reside.
And think too about what Bryan had brought up earlier about the dog man and passing through a potential portal through a tree. Trees, portal, tree of life, circle of life, the whole thing.
By the way, you have the cutest photo bomb behind you right now.
I know. There she is. Yeah, she's my mom.
How does the Bigfoots and other cryptids out your way handle your dogs? Do they get along like?
Yeah, it's funny. Naboo likes to watch her play ball. So
so cool.
He'll watch her play ball. And one time when we were out at the lake, of course, when we first encountered, she was with me. And, right away they were like, well, no dogs. And she right away reacted to them. But it was okay because they were fine because I had her leashed. But it was after that when he was coming back to my place, my house, and we were playing ball all the time in the back. He said he liked every time we'd go back there and play ball, he would be there. And he would say, I like watching. And then at night, after we played ball, we'd come in and he'd come up and she would be inside the house and she would be going berserk. And I could hear him on the outside of the house.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm. And he would and I have a lot of rocks. I have a rock bed in front of the house, and he always would take one of my favorite rocks, and they're big rocks, and he would always stick it in the center of my driveway where I'm not going to miss it. I'd have to run it over. but I have to get out and move it. But it's always there. So I know when he's there, he would always pull one of those big rocks, and they're heavy. And he'd pull and put it out there, and just, I'm here, But that's how we met. Right?
Okay.
On the rocky beaches.
Oh, there's Brian. I see you, buddy. Sorry, we didn't mean to take the show completely away from you.
Oh, that's fine. He doesn't mind.
Hey,
So,
I just thank him for the opportunity. I absolutely love that we have this like almost every Friday.
We need it.
So
We
cool.
need it. And I'm no expert in any of this other than I just share what I know and what I have learned. And I like sharing that. I don't, it's just more and more we acquire information we can acquire and share, start connecting the dots, it's amazing to me. Have you had mine speak with them at all?
Can you guys understand me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
hi,
I
Brian.
can hear you. We can hear you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Can you see me?
No.
No, not at all.
Your black screen.
Right. I'm not showing up on YouTube and I'm not showing up on Facebook. My internet connection is fine. You guys are the best, taking over the helm.
Yeah. We're having fun.
You sound like mice. So I've been watching you guys on YouTube and Facebook, which is totally cool. Great conversation. I want to get you rolling for one more subject. Scott, you had a picture which was very intriguing about your theory. And it has a picture of the Gugwe, type 2 Sasquatch, a human, a baboon type creature, a dog, and an angel. What's your theory on all of that?
Yes, that is. See, all right, we'll have to sum this up a little bit because I could go nerd out on this forever. I believe that actually Bigfoot comes from the Book of Enoch. I think they're of Enochian origin. And there's like a verse in the Bible that says they began, and I'm not saying all Bigfoots are this way. I think there's so many different ones that come from so many different lineages, but that a lot of them, like the mermaids and dogmen and stuff we have today, are from the fallen angels manipulating the DNA of the fish and the beasts of the earth. And I think that a lot of the other theories might have a similar parallel belief that way. Like the creation story, there's usually a flood in almost every single one of them of some sort. And you know what I mean? And there's like a restarting of life again. It's just different countries that have the same belief system. So I think Bigfoot starts with Enoch when the angels came down to earth, the watchers. And I believe that when they were sleeping with women and doing things that God told them not to do, a lot of these cryptids were spawns of that. They came from that horrible act. But I don't think that makes them inherently evil. It's not their fault where they came from. So I think that a lot of them are forced to live in exile for what their ancestors and, the start of their bloodline did. So that's why I think like the ones that gave us the wreath and the ones like even the one that threw the log at you when you had your first encounter, that was a gift for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you start to learn about it, you're like, that wasn't an aggressive act. That was meant like, okay, here you go.
Yep.
You want to know something? Here you go. So I think that's where they come from, honestly, though. And the Gugwe is notably, like if you look up the Beast of Seven Shoots, that would be what I would consider a Gugwe. Gugwe have a very baboon-like and also canine-like appearance at the same time, and they are the ones that have the baboon-like fangs. They're also the ones that have a taste for human flesh. So that type 2 Gugwe render I made is those 4 DNA on the left create the Gugwe. You have the baboon, so you have the primate DNA, you have the fallen angel that has the ability to put all that together. You have the ability to discern good and bad as a human, but you also are just your own creation too. You have free will to decide what you want to do with all that knowledge and ability that you have. So I think they're just like us. A lot of them might choose to be bad, and a lot of them I think are just really cool. I mean, I don't see them giving me something if they had a problem. I've only ever had pure intentions when I went out there, and I've only ever wanted to learn.
Yes.
So that's how I believe all of them exist. Like I think the patty type, which I would think is probably the closest to gorilla of the 5 types of Bigfoot that I think there are. Patty would be type 1, and that would be like your standard sort of gorilla DNA mixed with a human and an angel to have all that together. And then some of them are more involved. And I think as we have the generations of Bigfoot since the beginning, the bloodline probably got diluted. So I think that some have a lot stronger powers than others. And I think while some can create portals, I think all of them have the ability to use the portals that are already here. Let's not take the long way today, guys. We're going to go through this portal and we're just going to check out and head that way. I think that they have the ability to know where the strange like rifts in space and time that are on this planet are.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Hopefully you can hear me. Not if you
can hear you.
Raise your hand.
Yep.
We can hear you.
We can. Double nod, double wave.
We're good. We hear you.
Because I have been, kind of getting deep into the Greek mythology, Roman culture. Going back, me as a Christian, been tracing when they came down from the mountains of Ararat and the population started increasing, if there was a second incursion, pollution of the gene pool, so to speak, when and how that happened, and then lining up all these different creatures with Greek mythology. It sounds funny, but I've been watching that kid show on Disney called Percy Jackson. And boy, are they revealing a lot in that. As I said before, I've been studying on Medusa, just all this stuff. And yeah, I think and I don't disagree with you, Scott, in the aspect of the different types, but I think there is more. I think there are ones with horns. Hey, maybe even Cyclops Bigfoots out there.
I believe that too. I totally believe that. It's just, when you think of the 5, it's usually has something to do with like the Gymnosqua, the ones that have been known to roll in honey and then break up rocks to kind of create armor for themselves. And they tend to be found in mountainous ranges. There's those ones that they're huge armored giants that I think that I can't remember what his name was. Aaron something. He saw that giant, or Andrew something. He saw that giant on a mountain, and then they cut the video and he was never heard from again. I think that was probably a Gymnosqua. You know what I mean? So I think there's so many out there based on what your belief on what you think they are. Because there's many of them that believe there's another type called the buckwas, which is more of the spiritual type of Bigfoot. And I know that that's just probably a different tribal name of different Native American tribes, but it means the same thing.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
With pertaining to the wreath, I just, being at that location with you guys, I know it's been a couple of years, but yeah, I just think they were throwing you a bone, Scott. I go back to the Mothman Prophecies movie where you noticed them and they noticed that you noticed them. So now they've kind of settled in on you and Jake, knowing that you're not a threat, that you're just, kind of elated to discover them. And yeah, I think that was straight up a gift, and it's still being green and all of that. And one piece. It's like, oh my God. Absolutely.
Oh, and dude, Jake, speaking of Jake,
yeah,
and some of we both have gone out there on many times on our own. One of us had to work or something, and we always have unique experiences when we're alone, and when we're together, we also have our own unique experiences. It's just different depending on how we're out there. And Jake has some of the most captivating footage that we haven't dropped in Urban Bigfoot yet, or any of the other Bigfoot pages, that just made me then me, man, it's hard to shock me with most anything. We're talking about giant praying mantises running around, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Jake has caught one running on camera, and these things move so fast you can almost see smoke behind him. The shadow is still there when they move.
Yeah.
It's like the shadow has to catch up with them. He's caught them peeking behind a tree, literally like this. You can see the hand peeking at us. I've caught one digging down in the bushes by a tree line because it's next to an airport, and I zoomed in on it. And that video I think is on the page too. And Jake's really good at doing the whooping sounds, so I always have him do that. And he did it, and I was like, okay, do it one more time, in a hello kind of way. This thing raised its head up like this, looked over at us, and then went right back to whatever it was doing again.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, dude, this was probably 500 meters. And I'm just zoomed in on my phone, and I'm like, are you seeing this? So we're going to be dropping some pretty good stuff here, probably tonight, because now that we had the big reveal with the wreath, it'd be a good time to bring all the cool stuff that we've had over the last 6 or 7 months in.
Well, don't forget to bring it to the town hall in Monroe.
Oh, absolutely.
We want to see that show
I am
and tell.
so sorry that we were not that involved in getting the one in Monroe. It's just been that kind of a year with the school and stuff's just been going on. So I apologize for that.
It's all good.
Now, where is it at in Monroe?
Fantastic. Hold on, I'm listening to you finish up here.
Where is it at?
We haven't decided that. I know you threw me a location, and then just give me a month. Give me a month.
Okay.
My budget in a month, and then we're gonna lock down locations, lock down the dates, and all that kind of stuff. So
awesome.
Man, so much. It's like I always say when I started this, I was worried about having enough to do a show. And if you looked at my desk here, I've got so much stuff to do. I can't keep up with it. I never imagined this stuff would keep us this busy. So yes, we will.
If you need a field agent, I volunteer. Just pay me an awesome Pizza Hut because you have the best Pizza Hut right by your house. I volunteer. Just pay me.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. I was thinking. I was thinking the VFW hall or something, but let me do some scouring now that I've been down there and at that theater, Scott, in Monroe. I'm just getting a better feel of Monroe. I'm down there a few times, because the Laura's grandkids and all that. All right, looks like did Cheri bow out? Just kind of nod your head if she did. It looks like she did. Maybe she'll come back in. But Scott, I know you can hear me, so why don't you go ahead and tell the folks at home where they can contact you and follow you if they aren't already, right?
Absolutely, man. You guys can follow me at Urban Bigfoot group on Facebook. Absolutely, man. It's public. Come on in, share your stories. It's a safe place. We want to hear whatever you have to say. Come on in, share your stories. It's a safe place.
Fantastic, buddy. All right, I got this volume down. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Sorry about the technical difficulties. It's been very strange on my end, but I'm just happy that you and Cheri were still visible and people could hear you. So, all right, Scott, man, stay in the green room so we can talk, and I'll be there in a moment. All right?
Yes, sir.